Re-recorded. This is the Red Ticket Blues podcast. I am Brian Buckley. This is being recorded on November 20th, 2020. No, that's not true. It's 19th. So it'll be the 20th soon. Usually the day after, coinciding. You can listen to the show on iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, Amazon. Why not, huh? Jeez, hey, let's join the brigade. And Amazon Podcasts, sure, why not? And follow me on Twitter at BrianBuck13 and at Red Ticket Blues. This is my second attempt. Last night I tried to do a podcast. I got my Rodenbach beer, a Belgian sour ale, which is, listen, I've experienced it in Belgium, so it's a little different. I mean, they're still good, but come on. When in Rome, am I right? And for whatever reason, Audacity, the computer software that I use, that I'm really pissed at, that this free software didn't work, which, again, I've been using it forever, but it just kept freezing, so I'm not exactly sure what was going on. It was certainly pissing me off. And I started about 3 or 4 times and got about a few minutes in each time, and it froze, and I just said, the hell with this. So I just drank the beer, stared at our new dog, which we adopted. I know I mentioned that we were fostering it last time. We adopted it. So I just sat there staring at it and saying, I don't know what I'm fucking doing. I don't care. And I put out a tweet, and then I just, VMADS wanted to see the actual the landscape in the lab here of what it looked like. So congratulations, you got it. You happy? But here we are. I haven't done a podcast in a few weeks, but tonight let's get right to the beer. What are we waiting for? Because when you have a beer this good too, let's start talking here. This is the North Coast Brewing. I was talking with some of the gents, and I don't want to release his name because I think he likes to stay private. But he was mentioning, yes, one of the gents. He was mentioning they got a 4-pack of this beer, and my wife. Before we get to the beer, you know how easily I get off track here, but listen to this shit. So. Right now she's watching Modern Family, and I guess there's an episode where the smoke detector keeps going off. Did I talk about this the last podcast? How I was ready to just pull my hair out? How we wake up in the middle of the night and yeah, I think I did. I already talked about this. I'm not going to bother everyone with it. The smoke detector kept going off, and I was ready to have a nervous breakdown. I replaced the battery, and then I tried to. If I didn't mention this, I'll talk about it next week. I keep hearing it. I'm getting like PTSD from it. But back to the beer. North Coast Brother Thelonious. It's a Belgian-style Abbey Ale, and it is a top tier beer. Oh, God. It sounded awful. But, let's the sparks fly. I mean, this is about almost the size of a wine bottle, and it's 9.4. So, it's 1 pint and 9.4 ounces, so... Let's start the insanity. But I mean, this is an excellent beer, and I know they had some lawsuit issues because I was reading the actual Thelonious Monk was the guy's name. Is a jazz musician. His family didn't like it, them using this, so I guess I kind of understand it now. I guess a lot of it supports jazz education. There wasn't a lot of jazz education in my high school, but. I also didn't really try that hard, and there's a lot of educational history. Where I did not try so hard. I remember I probably mentioned this before. I remember I came home from school, no books, nothing. My dad's like, "You got any homework?" And I was like, "No, we didn't give us any." He's like, "Oh, yeah, that's pretty interesting. I went to that same school, no homework ever." Yeah. So, here, right? Here. But we're in Northern California. It actually rained the other day, which is amazing, and of course we spayed this dog. Well, I didn't spay the dog. I gave it to people who cut her open and did what they had to do and, ripped out their organs and ovaries and fallopian tubes and all that. I didn't personally do it, but they they did it, and, you got to keep it dry for 2 weeks. So this dog got all this energy, and, let's go out in the rain, sitting there like a bunch of idiots, like a squeegee person, just, keep drying it off. So that was me. But, yeah, that's what's going on right now. Not really much. I mean, just doing the damn thing. But let's get to the real nuts and bolts, the meat and the potatoes. And obviously is that we are in the muck and the mire. Can't have the muck without the mire of the post-election. A lot of it's not expected. A lot of it is expected in the sense that Trump would declare himself the winner without, the entire process playing out, and then Biden would be called the winner, and then we'd be in legal limbo. And that's kind of what I said, where Trump would somehow find a way to win it. I don't see that, just because this does not seem like a coordinated effort. Now, I know some people might be rolling their eyes, some Trump fans listening to this, or just some natural skeptics. And I will do what I always do, because I'm a spineless weasel. I will play both sides, all right? Do I find it odd that things were getting neck and neck, and all of a sudden some random swing states all of a sudden just stopped counting? Or their counting was massively delayed? A little bit. I find that to be a tad odd. I don't find it to be odd that there were huge dumps, which I predicted on this podcast. I mean, I'm not some sort of political pundit. I think it's pretty evidently, it's evidently clear that was going to happen in terms of just the increase in mail-in votes. You're going to get dumps. And when you have someone rallying for months about how bad mail-in votes are, they're going to be predominantly for Biden. I mean, let's be honest. You got to be a fucking idiot not to realize that. But yeah, here's the thing also, too. I'm not some sort of die-in-the-wool liberal who thinks that, anything the Democratic Party does is, basically angelic. This is the same party that basically screwed Bernie Sanders out of being the nominee. They cheated to get him out. So I don't say the Democrats or the Republicans, they're all disgusting people who don't care about you. They care about you every 4 years, every 2 years, every 6 years, whatever the term limit is. They come to your neighborhood and they show you that they still exist outside of a television. And then they say, oh, but we love you. And then they go away to Washington and grease each other's palms. I mean, so the idea, these are false idols, by the way. I don't care who you root for or whatever. These people are disgusting people, and they would not care if you died. The only way they'd care, they say, oh, that's one less vote. But someone was born today. All right, well, there we go. Someone just turned 18 today. There we go. I got another one. But here's the so what I'm saying is, if I'm making a point there, I think I was, right? That I'm not saying that they are above not doing this, but there's really no proof right now. And what we kind of got going on is a deranged Donald Trump telling people things are happening when they're not. I mean, it's all of these things most of these things are being debunked. I mean, they've won one lawsuit, I believe, and that was basically just to separate votes in Pennsylvania, which aren't even considered in the actual count anyways. I saw today that Georgia basically did their recount, and nothing really changed. And I also saw, I think it was Arizona. I think the attorney general said Trump suppressed himself by telling all these people not to mail in votes. They said 30,000 registered GOP members voted in the primaries that didn't vote in the general election. Like, this guy, and there's also another element of it, and Hillary was guilty of it as well. It's just pure arrogance. Trump is screaming it's going to be a landslide. It's going to be a landslide. He's telling his people to say it's going to be a landslide. There's not a lot of motivation. We are in the middle of a pandemic, regardless of how serious you take it or not. People are not going to go out and vote if they don't think their vote matters. I mean, you have Hillary Clinton sitting there taking a picture of herself, or post. She didn't take a picture of herself. She wouldn't have been that young. Twitter wouldn't be possible. But she posted a picture of herself as a little girl and said, look, the future president of the United States before the election. I mean, it's absolutely, it's arrogance. It's a narcissism, and it screwed him. So the interesting thing now going forward, and before we get to that, I read off some of the text from the Trump legal team, which Rudy Giuliani, I mean, I don't know what to say anymore about that guy. He's it's kind of sad. I mean, this is New York's mayor, America's mayor, and all that crap, and he's really lost his mind. Now, I will say in that Borat film, I know people want to say that he was like rubbing himself and everything. It's an odd way to tuck in your pants, but it certainly looked like he was tucking in his pants. And I do think he totally thought he was hooking up. But he's a single guy, too, so I find that story to kind of be, I don't want to say all about nothing, but way overblown. And I mean, I don't like Rudy Giuliani. I think I think he's deranged. But let's see here. So my friend sent me this yesterday from the Trump legal team. No, this is today. President Trump, Michigan must, capitals, be investigated. Capitals. There are irregularities everywhere. I'm giving you 1 hour to fight back. 10 times impact. Donate now. Link. If the Democrats take over, they will destroy the country. You're the only one who can stop them. Julia. He must have put his name Julia in there. Save America and contribute here. And then Don Jr. texted a few hours later and said, Don Jr., I'm calling my father later with an updated list of patriots who contributed to the Election Defense Fund. You have 20 minutes. Step up. And here's the text. And he said, these are embarrassing to me as a registered Republican. And I just said, what happens if you're not on the list? Are you like brandished a Tory and tarred and feathered by the 2020 equivalent of like Sam Adams and Ethan Allen and the Green Mountain Boys? And then he said, Don Jr. is a huge pussy. Patriots didn't need to be capitalized either. And I said, I'm just reading off text messages now. That's what the podcast is. I said, I'd trust Barron to run the country over Don Jr. or Eric. And so, but it's okay. Just relax, though. He got like an extension. So hours later, election defense alert. Defense alert. Friend, we extended your opportunity to make a $1,000 impact. Act fast. Offer expires in 15 minutes. Claim now. The Trump campaign, now, God bless them if they want to do this. They have no real legal defense here. There doesn't seem to be anything actually happening. Now, it's funny, too. I was saying this on Twitter. It seems like the main thing they're going after is this Dominion voting thing, which I don't remember anyone talking about before the election. I remember how bad mail-in votes were and how they were going to destroy everything. It was rampant fraud. Not one thing about Dominion. And it's like, you think if we all knew about this, why didn't our dear leader do something about it? I mean, he rallied for months and didn't do anything about it. Now it's like, oh, we've known about this. So it's apparently, so this is the main defense that I heard today from Sidney Powell, who I've been told is the voice of reason and reckoning, and she's well respected. So that means that Donald Trump will be president and will be inaugurated on January 21st. She said that they have a guy who was in Venezuela and they use this stuff, and he saw what happened when Hugo Chavez was elected, when he was down, and then they did something with this software, and then he became president. I mean, that sounds like a sterling defense to me. I mean, I'd like to sign up for that right now. But that's the main thing that I see. If anything's going to happen, it's going to be that. But again, Trump knew all about this. The whole team, and they didn't say one word. I never heard the word Dominion anything. It was only stupid. The university, maybe a Sweet 16 Cinderella team, Old Dominion. Other than that, Dominion, nothing. I mean, it's fascinating. It really is. I think it's really bad what's going on right now. And in the GOP, man, they got they're sleeping with the prom queen for a life of celibacy. And I tweeted that today. I got like no reaction, but I'm going to say it again. They're selling their souls for this stuff. You're putting a Band-Aid on a gunshot wound. Just selling their souls. You know why they're doing it? Because they're scared as shit out of this guy. They're petrified of him. Because the moment one of them speaks out and says, I think President Trump should concede so we can let democracy take over, he'll rip their life apart and shred them up and get the knives out and slice and dice them. And they will never win another district ever again. And they are petrified. I bet you at least 90% of the GOP senators, House people, all know this is horseshit. They all know it's horseshit. But they don't know what else to do. They are scared. I bet you they're scared for their safety as well. These people are fucking lunatics. This lower tier of Trump people are the same as the lower tier of the Democrats. Dangerous, mindless idiots who will do anything. They will commit violence. Like you saw some of the people that were supposed to, they were going to kidnap the governor of Michigan and have like live executions. Oh yeah, that sounds. I mean, that sounds right. I don't think Trump even realized the idiocy that he's created from some of these people. But the thing that I'm fascinated about, in the most part, Trump can play this game and collected money. I guess he's in debt in his campaign, so a lot of this money that he's been begging in those text messages I just read is going toward paying that campaign thing and then just starting to line pockets. I also read something. I don't want to completely say this was a true thing. I did read that anything under $8,000 can be contributed to the legal defense fund or just put in Trump's pocket. I guess if you read the fine print. Don't want to put my name and everything I own on that one, but I did read that, I believe. So that's interesting as well. And God bless him. If you want to con the morons, go for it. I mean, Donald Trump is a guy in the 1900s who shows up to the town square with a cap, with a top hat and a cape, selling magic beans, and everyone is mystified, falling over, and like it's an evangelical church, how the Lord got them, and these magic beans made them better. But I mean, listen, I can understand not liking Joe Biden. I can understand not liking the radical left. But I mean, if you really buy what that dude's selling, I'm sorry. I mean, he is a grade A con artist, especially at this point. I mean, forget the winning and all that, and what he's done as president. I mean, that's another story, and that's another conversation for another time. But I mean, right now, you're getting played. You're getting played bad because these guys got to win some lawsuit. They have to show some evidence, man. And I don't think. Let's just say this evidence was just so deep and so damaging to Joe Biden and everything. There's no way they'd be able to sit on it for this long. We're past 2 weeks. We're getting into the 20th by the time you're listening to this. You better start showing me that. I mean, listen, if you show me some sort of collaborated thing that has names and all this and you can prove this, fucking Donald Trump won. Go for it. I don't like the guy. As you've listened to this podcast, but I mean, I'm also not going to stand here and be like, well, I don't like Donald Trump and they cheated, but they still deserve to win because I don't like Donald Trump. You got to show me something. The show me state. I mean, what does Missouri have to say? Whatever. That's where I stand on all this. It'll be interesting to see going forward because in the next few weeks, I mean, this stuff's got to be certified. Oh my God. I still boggles my mind that this country these people are obsessed with Donald Trump. And I know a lot of people that listen to this podcast are from the Northeast. This is the same asshole you'd see on TV, on the news, at Channel 9 News, or WPIX. You see this idiot saying something, and these people look at him like a god. Again, I understand disliking the liberals and this guy ripping on him, because I kind of like it sometimes too. I don't like Trump, but sometimes he'll say something and be like, I kind of like Nancy Pelosi hearing that. That's good to hear. She needs to hear shit like that sometimes. But overall, treating this man as if he's like akin to Jesus Christ, it's frightening. The most dangerous thing Donald Trump ever did was make dumb people feel smart. And it's kind of created a monster. The most fascinating thing about all this is how this is going to end. Because you can do the whole, they cheated, they stole it from me. But I mean, January 21st, something's got to happen. How does Donald Trump remove himself if there's no actual fraud shown or, nothing substantial? How does he remove himself from this and save face? Is it, the whole system's corrupt? I mean, fine, I tried to do my best, and what can I do? I'm not going to play these games. You come on over to this new station I got, and we'll give you the real news and all that stuff. And, Trump will never watch any of it. He doesn't give a shit unless it's about him, and he'll just sit there and collect money. I mean, maybe that's it, but it's going to be a weird transition to they're stealing the election. Big things are happening to, forget it. I don't really need it. I've done enough. I beat them in 2016. They stole the election. I'm not going to waste my time doing this. You only got one life to live. I mean, I don't know. We'll have to see how this goes. I don't have a prediction. My prediction is, that's pretty good. I mean, you heard Michael Cohen, who is a grade A liar, say that he's going to go to Mar-a-Lago for Christmas and just never come back. But again, there needs to be reasoning to the minions, the legion of mouth breathers who are ready to die or sacrifice their children in the name of Donald Trump. So will be very, very interesting going forward. Again, I don't really, I mean, my prediction is Joe Biden will be inaugurated on January 21st, but everything in between, I mean, I think that's I mean, you want to say the beauty of Trump. You never know what's going to happen with him. He likes to keep you guessing. He likes to keep you talking. Let's stay in politics real quick. I know this is, oh God, I talk 18 minutes there? 16 minutes about Donald Trump. I know some people are like, oh God, Brian, enough. How much blood is going to be spilt over this guy? Well, I'd say no, he is the president. Maybe we'll talk about, we'll play the other side of it if we're going to look at it in a completely political aspect. And that's the governor of this fine state here, the state of California, that being Gavin Newsom. I don't make predictions or what I should know about COVID, or I don't know if people should be locked down. I don't know if all of this is happening because, you know what? First of all, I'm not that smart when it comes to that stuff. I was very dumb in science. I remember the mighty mitochondria, and that's about it. But when you preach shit, and I've kind of give some kudos to Newsom on this podcast just because he has an aura of confidence that is intoxicating. I mean, it's not as intoxicating as a North Coast, Brother Thelonious Belgian style Abbey Ale, but it gives you a good feeling. He's a smooth talking politician. But, you get these daily pressers from this guy telling you this, telling you that. We need to do this. You need to lock down. You need to stay away from people. Blah, 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 blah. All the same shit from everyone. And then there he is, whining and dining at French Laundry in Napa. French Laundry is one of the, and I've never been there. I always tease my wife as if we're going to go, and I never do. It's not really a tease at this point anymore. I mean, it's literally like you want to go there. It's a fixed meal. It's like $600 each. But he was there with a bunch of people, maskless, no social distancing, and the pictures are out now too. And he has the gall, just like his aunt, Nancy Pelosi. He has the gall to say, I made a mistake. I was following the restaurant guidelines. The restaurant guidelines. You're the goddamn governor. The restaurant guy says stuff like that. The apple doesn't fall far from the tree. As Nancy Pelosi did the same thing, getting her spa stuff, blaming shopkeepers. So two of the most powerful people in the state of California, with the fifth largest economy in the world, are blaming shopkeepers because they can't even practice what they goddamn preach. That's pathetic. And to make it even better, he was there celebrating a birthday of some medical people on his staff. Beautiful. Absolutely perfect. Mwah. Love it. But to make it even better, let's throw another cherry. There's already a cherry. Let's put another cherry on there. Bunch of, legislative people from the state of California out in Maui. They went to a conference. It wasn't even a conference. It was a fundraiser. No travel, and they have to quarantine I wonder if they quarantined for 14 days when they came back. Taxpayer dimes at French Laundry in Maui. Man, oh man. I'm not saying I like Donald Trump or I would vote for someone like Donald Trump, but boy, oh boy, they do push you. They do push you, man. That is some grade A horse shit. So I just wanted to bring that up because, I'm sorry. I'm not going to look at Gavin Newsom and his bullshit excuse and then just go, well, I'm not going to wear a mask and I'm going to defy orders now and, go to a bar and ask for a COVID in a can. But I mean, at the same time, do you have any self-awareness? And now we got a curfew here. I know there's been some curfews in some states that they just came down here 9:30 because we all know that COVID goes 9:30 or 10. We all know COVID goes to bed at 10 o'clock. It's the stupidest idea. I want someone to explain to me why there is a curfew. So I can drink in a bar all day long and get completely shithoused and wasted. But after 10 o'clock, we don't want you drinking in there. It's so dumb. Like if I go to a brewery or a bar or something, I have to eat something because we all know COVID. I mean, once food's around, oh no, you can't do that. I don't understand any of this reasoning. It's silly, it's stupid, and it's no one is even thinking about this. Now, I'm not, again, minimizing the effect of COVID. I realize it's about to explode even more so because people are dumb, and they're probably tired of politicians saying this dumb shit, so they want to act out. I mean, still use your brain, but at the same time, again, just like Donald Trump, voting for him, they don't make it easy, man. They don't make it easy. There's no reasoning behind any of this shit. And now, granted, I'm not 20 years old. I'm not going out to the bars all night. I'm not really pissed that I can't go out past 10. But at the same time, I'm thinking about the shopkeepers, the people that pay taxes in this state and around me that can't make any money because we're closing at 10. Now, do I think they were making that much money before? No. I think there were people who don't want to go out as much anymore anyways. But, I mean, holy shit, though. Get your priorities straight. I don't understand some of this. I don't get. I know some people. Whatever. I'm not even gonna get into this. I think you pretty much understood how I felt. This is a rambling podcast, big time rambling, even from me. But enough's enough. Whatever. Trump and these people, they have no one to blame but themselves. Trump is the one who brought all this on, who suppressed his own voters, and probably Georgia said that just in the sense. Imagine all the other states that have that too. And then these other people, these Democratic governors who who are shocked that people don't believe what they say, and maybe they don't like them anyways just because of political stuff. But then look at them maybe cockeyed when you do dumb shit like this. They have no one to blame but themselves. It's absolutely ridiculous. So that's 24 minutes of me knowing what everyone should do. There is some positive news with everything going on. The vaccine, which that'll be interesting, how that's going to be rolled out. You're going to have half the people not wanting to do it because they're anti-vaxxers and they're nuts. maybe those people will die off and, survival of the fittest, adapt or die, the board or Twitter. You make the decision. That's what it is. You make the decision. Adapt or die. You want to stay on a message board, or you want to come to the, the big boys, the big leagues. It's up to you. But yeah, hey, we'll see how the vaccine. I miss my family. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm not going there for Thanksgiving. Yeah. I know. I think I said something like this, and people were like, "Oh, Brian, well, 250,000 people are dead, but Brian can't go to see his family." Well, okay. Can I be sad about both? Can both be true? Jesus Christ. But we'll see how that goes. I'd get one. I'd like to get on a plane. I'm fucking getting stir crazy, man. What do you want me to do? I also miss my family too. It's not just that. What else do we need to talk about? I don't really have a ton else to talk about. I got this dog. Dog's crazy. Dog is still insane when it sees other dogs. We just had a little episode in the park before, but see how it goes. The dog has definitely become part of the family. It's a big dog. It's at 50 pounds right now, and it'll be about a year old next month. I'm really praying it doesn't get any bigger. It's a pit bull. Like I said, there might be some boxer in her. Oh, stop. Get your mind out of the gutter. They're in the genes. But, yeah, I don't know. Well, what can I say? The only stuff I am so out of it when it comes to football. I don't even know who's good. The Seahawks were good, but they've kind of struggled, right? Pittsburgh was good. But I don't have anything on my agenda here to talk about with football. I got to start watching football again. NBA draft was last night, which I don't remember anybody that played in college basketball last year. Because you think about it, there was no March Madness, so that's kind of like where legends are born, and all the other people are just kind of like, oh yeah, were you following that conference? Oh yeah, no. I don't think I could name one college basketball player right now. That is so sad, because that, at one time, that was bigger for me than baseball. I don't think I could name. Well, I know. Okay, what's that guy? Boatwright for UConn. I know him. That's about it. Not Ryan Boatwright. Shit. I don't even know. He was a freshman. He's like I think he's like third all team, whatever, preseason this year. Jesus. Yeah, that's what happens when you start throwing down the 9.4%, wine bottle here before eating any dinner. Yeah, why not? Let's kill the kidneys, liver, excuse me. Kill them all, right? Why not? If COVID doesn't do it, I'll do it myself. Oh, Jesus. Mom, I'm sorry. But I do have a lot of baseball to talk about, so let's talk about some baseball. Let's start with the New York Mets. And Steve Cohen, I hate to say, but I like this guy. I like him a lot. Shitting on beat writers, which already I think you're in my Hall of Fame. I saw John Morsey said that Mike Chernoff, the Indians GM, will be interviewing with the Mets for something like that, or former or whatever. And Steve Cohen just quote tweeted or responded to it. He's like, not that I'm aware of. You're wrong again. I was just like, oh my God, I'm in love. Deanna, we need to talk about divorce. I'm in love with this guy. More owners need to do that. More owners need to be vocal and just shit on these beat writers. A beautiful thing. If you're really looking for somebody, I would definitely look in the direction of Jack Curry, John Heyman, and boy, I can't wait for Steve Cohen to take a huge dump on Andy Martino. Oh boy, that's going to be good. And he might not even be, useful. And I saw Andy Martino. This is a guy, if you're not familiar with Andy Martino, he's definitely a professional shit stirrer. He's a contrarian. I don't think he believes half the stuff he says, but that's for clicks. That's how we become, you become people these days. That's what people want. He said something. So the Marlins hired a woman, I forget her name, but she's been in baseball a long time. She's going to be the GM of the Marlins. So Jeter definitely padding there. So when shit goes wrong, say, hey, come on, I'm a pioneer. Look, Amelia Earhart, the whole deal. But so he said something along the lines of, hey, let's just be happy for Kim. I don't know how to pronounce her last name, but I think it was it's just like NG. And he said men can't comment on it. It was the most, because I don't know if it was overly woke or he's just trying. I got to find this. Let me pause this. Okay, so men are not particularly needed to discuss the Kim. I don't want to mispronounce that. NG higher. Let's leave this one to Susan Waldman and the many others who are perfectly capable of discussing its significance and leave ourselves out of something for one goddamn time. I know it's hard for me too. That's why we're dudes. Like, there's so many layers to that. It's like, okay, are you being overly woke? Are you trying to like get, someone slipping into your DM, some woman, or are you just being like that outrageous to annoy people? I don't know. And Lindsay Adler is not really my cup of tea. Like, I don't dislike her, but she's not someone I follow. But she immediately, I don't know if it was immediate, I shouldn't say that. She said, I disagree. One of the coolest things to me has been seeing how excited a wide range of industry men have been about this. I appreciate the perspective, but interesting to see extremely accomplished women baseball reporters with a range of responses to my original tweet. Eat shit, Andy Martino. Talk about backtracking. Beep, beep, beep. I mean, what's with the beeps? What's with the beeps, George? That is grade A crap. Grade A horseshit. That's like second or third time I said that today. But I mean, come on. That guy sucks. Anyways, that'll be interesting though, having a woman GM, which I don't have any issues with women being in the front office, and I don't have any. If I'll be completely honest, I don't have any issues with them actually being a manager. I will say that would present some serious issues for the people there. And if you want to call me a sexist for saying that, then, go to hell. But I mean, at the same time, I'm being realistic. I'm being, I'm not looking at rose-colored glasses. But I mean, front office, like, why not? Like, there are women executives in all other fields. Like, let's not try to act like, baseball is like solving a Rubik's Cube in 5 seconds. It's not that difficult. And I understand, well, why haven't the San Diego Padres won a World Series? It's okay. Well, I mean, whatever. I'm just saying, a woman can handle the job. There are plenty of bad male GMs there, so I think women should get a shot. But man, I can't wait to see when she gets like fleeced in a trade. Boy, you better not say that to like John Heyman or Bob Nightingale or any of those people. Ooh, you're gonna get a stern lesson about how dare you. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. But staying with the Mets for a second, and it's like Robinson Cano, who is, let's be honest, one of the laziest human beings you've ever seen play the game of baseball. Oh, God, Brian, how dare you say that? How dare you say that? That's a racist thing to say. No, you can't say that. Okay, is he a hustler? Does he do anything correctly? I mean, he's, okay, yeah. Sorry, I got a little confused there. I had to pause it. I was doing a fleet thing for Red Ticket Blues of just me actually doing that, and then I kind of lost my train of thought just because I was looking at too many things. There's too many things going on. But let's talk about Robinson Cano though. This is the same guy. That $24 million. I mean, I'm shocked. I'm not shocked. Somebody made a great point the other day. They said, how could people be that surprised that Melky and Robinson Cano tested positive for steroids? Robinson obviously now twice, when they have such a great teacher and learned under the tutelage of Alexander Emmanuel Rodriguez, one of the most prolific cheaters in the history of baseball. I mean, should anyone really be shocked? And then I saw some other headline that said, what does this do to Robinson Cano's Hall of Fame candidacy? It fucking shits on it. I'm sorry for, that's multiple swearing right there. It voids it. There's nothing. It's over. And now I guarantee, and he's 38 years old? Yeah, I don't think Robinson Cano's ever playing another game of baseball in his life. And to be, oh man, where are all the people that wanted to sign Robinson Cano to that contract in 2010? And let his ass walk to Seattle and become irrelevant, come crawling back to New York, but unfortunately having to go to the Mets. Oh, man. Guys like Robinson Cano piss you off because they have the most ungodly talent you've ever seen. And that guy never cared a day in his life. Oh, yeah, Brian, were you there when he did batting practice before and after games? Blah, blah, blah. I don't care. I mean, that little stuff, should he run out a base hit in the second inning of a game in May? Okay, fine. That's no problem. He has not run out base hits. He has not done the little things in big moments. That's the shit that pissed me off. I will still, and I know I've rallied on whatever year it was, that Baltimore game. There was a game that Baltimore, and if he had just gotten to first, if he had legged it out, that run would have scored and they would have won the game. He waltzed up there and they beat him by about 50 steps and they lost the game because of that. It was a September game too. That's the kind of guy Robinson Cano is. Oh, he smiles a lot though. Oh boy, what a loser. And if it, I mean, he loses out on $24 million, but man, what a position to be in where you're probably annoyed, obviously $24 million, regardless of how much money you have, but to just say, whatever, and it just goes away. Staying in baseball for a second, in the Northeast, the Red Sox are completely shameless, bringing back Alex Cora. I mean, I know you love the guy, fine, but why did you fire him in the first place? Now he just comes back. We're very disappointed in Alex and the decisions he's made, but we're gonna bring him right back. I don't know what that is. Just bizarre, and everyone thinks that's okay. It's complete. And AJ Hinch has a job now too. I mentioned that last podcast, but Alex Cora is back with the Red Sox. I'm sorry, and I know these media people. I don't know what it is, but they are in love with him. He's a cheater. He's a cheater on two teams. But Jon Heyman, boy, he will take off his jacket, and Alex Cora can walk over that in a puddle of rain, just so he'll get an exclusive with him. I don't know, exclusive. I don't read Jon Heyman. Who cares? He's blocked me on my main account, as I've mentioned before, but I find that to be bizarre. I really do. I don't understand that whatsoever. There has to be a better explanation than just, we want to welcome him back. I mean, what about like the exit, all that stuff, like, the reason you removed him and now he's gone. Now he's back. Those reasons that applied in that goodbye letter no longer apply. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't know what to say. This podcast has been a disaster. I know. I'm sorry. You expect better than this, and I've given you a garbage product. I see that Russell Westbrook wants to. I don't know what happened to the Houston Rockets. They all of a sudden just don't want to play with each other anymore, and now James Harden wants to go to the net. The NBA is so full of drama, such babies, little divas. Now I will watch them in the playoffs like I do every year, and I saw Klay Thompson. He's shit, dude. That guy might be screwed forever. Now he ruptured Achilles after he just had an ACL. I mean, that's a guy who runs off. People like, I saw somebody saying, "Oh, well, he just shoots threes." Do you see how many like screens that guy runs off of? Yeah, well, after you had those injuries and now you're going to be in your 30s, those parts ain't going to work the same. I mean, he might just be a standalone shooter. Maybe he'll have to just do that, but he's also a good defender too. So, but I'd like to see James Harden, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, because I can guarantee you that will not work. Those are three. I'm sorry, I'm playing with this. It's not. I know that doesn't help anyone. Those are three guys that are not the kind of prototypical people that I could see sitting down and saying, "Listen, I'm going to sacrifice some of my time to get a ring." I was going to say they all have a ring anyways, but Harden does not. I think I've said this a million times on the podcast recently, but I am so done with the coronavirus. I really, really am. I don't know what else to say anymore. I'm tired of this shit. I'm tired of this life. I'm tired of this becoming normal. I don't know what else to say. This is not a pleasant way to end the podcast, but I'm just getting so sick and tired of this. This is Brian getting the mean drunk. Who the hell do you think you are? Huh? Whatever. I don't know. I mean, I'm saving money. I mean, that's great, but like, what do you do every weekend? There's no like festivals. There's no things going on. You don't go to the movies. There's no sporting events. There's you go see people. Some people don't want to see you. Some people do. Then you feel weird. And then I've been making beer. I can't do that every weekend though. It's a problem. I'm going to have to buy more equipment. And second of all, I'm going to have to drink it all. And, I don't think my wife wants me to be able to fall down drunk. I mean, I can do it. I can totally do it. I know I could. I've done it. But I just don't want to be, consistent. Maybe I'm up for the challenge, though. Hey, there's a lot of history in my family. I can do it. I think I can. A little Brian the could. All right, we're just rambling at this point. The podcast has come to an expiration date, expiration time. Thank you all for listening. Sorry about the week off. Trying to get back into the groove, but obviously I couldn't. So don't expect any consistency out of me. You really shouldn't at all. That's a bad move out of you. That's a you problem. But thank you all for listening. And hey, if you're ever on iTunes, give a review. Someone gave me a negative review. And it still hurts to the bone. You know, I know it happened a while ago, but still. But if you want to, if you don't. Just listen and tell your friends and do what you got to do. So listen to the show, iTunes, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, Podbean, FM Player, Amazon, and follow me on Twitter at BrianBuck13 and at Red Ticket Blues. So next week's Thanksgiving. I hope everyone is enjoying themselves. I think I might be going. I don't know if I'm gonna get back from the curfew. If Gavin Newsom's gonna be out with his nightstick and his flashlight to pull me over and be like, "Excuse me, I look like Christian Bale and I'm on my way to a restaurant. Where do you think you're going?" So we'll have to see if that happens. But I'm supposed to go to a family member's friend of a friend of a friend. We'll see if that happens. You know, shit's getting out of control. Maybe it's just better to say, I have no problem. I'll make pizza on a Thursday instead of a Friday. I'll make a Friday too. That's what I do. I hope everyone has a good Thanksgiving. If I don't get to do a podcast before next week, stay safe. Don't do anything stupid. And again, enjoy yourselves. Crazy time. And you're gonna make your own decisions. You don't need to hear this sermon from me. Regardless, love you all. Thank you so much. With all being said,
Nobody's fault but mine.